Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I It's alive!
Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that. And if you didn't, now you do. Today's episode is Conspiracy Tuesday number 3. And we talk a lot about the Royals, and we get into a lot of other conspiracies. So I think it's super interesting, a lot of the topics that we get into, and I have 3 amazing guests today, and they're gonna tell you all about themselves and where you can find them real quick before we get into it. So we're gonna start with Arnie.
Hey, hello everyone. I have an Instagram. It's elhauntino 75. Also, I'm a paranormal investigator for Hornet, South Florida. Callie, you make me laugh. You're gonna have to edit that. Just roll it, man.
No,
yeah, you can find me
cool.
on Hornet, South Florida. You made me just roll it, Kev. You can find me on Hornet, South Florida. I have a shitload of good content on there. I'm sure you like it. You can follow me and my team.
All right. Hi, I'm Callie. I do a lot of things, a whole bunch of different things. So you can find me all over the internet, whether you are interested in the paranormal world and things of the other world. You can follow me at ghosthunterbarbie, where I investigate with my team, Haunted South Florida, and uncover the paranormal world there. So that's hauntedSouthFlorida.org. Or if you like the more granola nature witchy side, you can follow me on my Explore account on Instagram, which is Callie Explores. Or if you want to know a little more about maybe my professional or personal life, you can follow me at Callie Viata or CallieViata.com. And that's it.
My name's Tommy Cullum. I've got a podcast called Let's Get Freaky. We talk all things paranormal, ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, conspiracies. I have guests on that have had paranormal experiences or they work with the paranormal. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, on all of them at TC Let's Get Freaky Podcast. That's it.
Nice. So we had an amazing conversation, and I really want to say thank you to you guys. And it looks like Arnie decided to hang up on us.
I'm dead as fuck.
But I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on and talking some shit with me. So
it's been an honor, man. Thank you.
I just want to say I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the Instagram and doing your thing, man. I follow you closely. Listen, Callie, when you disappear, I get worried.
A lot of people do. Yeah, a lot of people
you
do.
took your hiatus not too long ago, and I was like, I have to message her, and I'm like, hey, just checking in. How are you?
Sometimes I have to be away. You know what I mean? Like there's, we have we have a group that just is just a lot of people know them as well. So I have a lot of mutuals that follow this people from the other group. And even though they're blocked on most things, we had this really terrible thing with this other group. And it's just like that affects my psyche, or like, I don't want anything to be a job. My job is being on the internet all the time. Like literally, like if you know the Calaviata account, that's my job. That's what I do. When I tell people I have 6-figure feet, I go 6-figure feet, So like that's what I do. I'm hustling all day like that. So I really like try to like spread it out as much as I can, but I like have to have that digital break a lot,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
But I appreciate the concern. People do though. They get like, is everything okay? Or they try to read into shit that I post. But like, I mean, I'm an actress, so I know what's going to pique attention as far as that stuff goes. I know what to say and when to say it. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel you, dog. I feel you.
Which,
right.
by the way,
oh, go ahead.
Recording. You can't put this out there. I told
you want me to stop recording then? Is that I should probably start recording if you don't want it out there.
I mean, but just don't put this out there.
Well, let me stop recording. Hold on. Let me just stop recording. Hey, everybody, I hope you enjoy this episode. I had a lot of fun. So stay weird. Let's get it. Hey, are you into healing crystals? You should head on over to etsy.com/shop/heal with Christina and check out my friend Christina's sweet ass crystal shop. She's got a bunch of cool things in there. I was looking at it the other day, and most likely I will be purchasing some crystals. Just based, not because I'm fucking a spiritual bitch, just because I think they look pretty cool. Anyways, if you guys head on over there, she has items ready to ship, except for the crystal mushrooms. She makes those to order. Time is 1 to 3 business days, depending on the amount of orders. She currently has 28 different crystals and 3 different wire types. You can get on there. She has a whole bunch of crystal healing jewelry, homemade soy crystal candles, fun resin art pieces, and amazing handcrafted crystals. And if you go check it out and you decide that you like some shit and you decide to purchase some shit, you can enter the code, a coupon code, weird 125. Almost fucked that up. Weird 125. That's a capital W. The 1 is spelt out just like in the podcast name, and then the 2 and the 5. So if you use weird 125, you get 25% off your purchase of whatever you decide to get from her shop. And I really hope you do and support her shop. She does amazing things, and she's an amazing friend, and she's an amazing person. So, check it out. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 3rd installment of Conspiracy Tuesday with Where the Weird Ones Are. Today, we're going to talk about Princess Diana and the royal family just a little bit. But we'll just give a short introduction real quick. So we got Tommy Cullum of Let's Get Freaky podcast.
Yo.
We got Callie. She goes by ghosthunterbarbie. She goes by a lot of names. She has a lot of different Instagrams for all the little things she does.
What's happening?
And then we also have Arnie. He's
What's up,
from
man?
Haunted South Florida, and he sends me a lot of crazy videos of his paranormal investigations, and he gets a lot of he finds a lot of good things in that aspect. So
Yes, sir.
So we got 2 Floridians, and we got a man from the UK, and then I am up in Maine. If nobody has figured that out yet, if you listen to this anyways religiously, you would know that I am a New Englander. So what do you guys know about Princess Diana?
Who's starting?
It was
anybody, whoever wants to speak.
She's part of the royal family.
So she was born in
She's
1961. She died in 97. So I was familiar with her growing up. She died when I was 10. So it was all over the news. And
yeah.
one thing that I don't know if you guys find this weird, but I always found it weird that the royal family is in our media constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that was really weird too. Like, I never understood that. Like, I mean, this is gonna sound, I'm still gonna get hate for this, but like, I don't care. So
Yeah.
like, why do I still don't even understand it, because that's how much I don't care. Like, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I don't understand how you have this, like, I mean, they're the Kardashians to me, because it's like, you don't get any kind of whatever. You're not, but you just, I never understood it. Yeah, at all.
Yeah. So Tommy, I have a quick question for you.
Yep.
Do you in your media over there, do you see a lot of like American I guess elitists, or like what Hollywood elitists or something in your media at all?
Yeah, I think our media is pretty much the same, to be honest. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
that's what I get. We get sort of the same stories. I
Mhm.
mean, American news is big in England as well. So we get all the news, all the people you hate, we hate. So I think we're quite similar, really. And as you were saying about who cares about the Royals, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say a lot of people in the UK don't care about the Royals either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know that's a
Okay.
bit controversial, but
Yeah.
there's some people that love the Royals. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people couldn't give a crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
So-
it's cool about like like having a hierarchy, and like, I mean, I feel like, as a female, as a little girl, the whole princess and, prince and the king and queen and all that, like, we don't have that here. So to us, there's like a little bit of a like cutesy thing to it, or fantasy to it. But I don't think, which is maybe where this aligns actually, but I don't think like, I always thought they ran the country until like one day it's like, no, they have nothing to do with that. Like, what? That's crazy to me. Like, how are they? No, so they really are like the Kardashians. They're really more like socialites, entertainment. I did not really understand that until probably like 10 years ago. It's like, get out of here.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. So
I feel like they're controlled. I feel like the Royals are controlled, and they're sort of basically puppets,
yeah.
sort of.
Well,
You know what I mean?
if you really get into it, I would say like the Vatican controls everything. So, like everything's anything that has to do with money is maritime. So like currency, that's like a sea thing, or what the fuck? There's a lot of sayings, and I'm blanking on it at the moment, but there's a lot of sayings that have to do with maritime, and it's because our banks and shit are controlled by the Vatican. So like the UK is the bank, the America is the muscle, and then there was a third one, and no, it's the Vatican. It's the Vatican, the UK, and America that set up the superpowers. And then you got China and Russia, who are basically the same thing. So like Russia's got the oil, and China's the trade. So like you buy something and you look at it, and it's almost 9 times out of 10 it's going to be made in China.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they do all the trades, they make everything. So when their workers, when they got low workers, we get less stuff. It's baffling the way it works, but it's kind of cool in a way. But I feel like that sets us up for a lot of bullshit. I mean, China doesn't have any rules on, work and work safety and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy in China, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
I believe is it
A lot of
it
children
also-
and stuff like that.
I know the royal family likes to try and stay within their own bloodline. Like I know
Like
Queen Elizabeth and Prince
incest.
Philip, they're like second cousins. Like kind of incesting a little bit there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that explains the look of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
They look a bit
hey,
strange. I mean,
They
look at the
do.
king, man. I mean,
Yeah.
That's
he's got a
wild. He
weird
looks
Look
like
at Queen Elizabeth, man. Jeez, like come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. So I saw a football game where a bunch of guys, people from Ireland were like, "Shove your coronation up your ass."
Yeah.
It was funny. Oh,
Yeah.
I saw you post a video, Tommy, where it was during the coronation. There was a wizard.
Yeah, man.
I
And it
was like,
was
"What the
oh,
fuck
what's
is
it
that?"
called?
He's just like
It was
creeping across the freaking doorway. I
it's
was like, "What
weird,
is he
man.
doing?"
Like
Did you
just
guys
hanging out
watch?
there.
Did you watch the coronation?
No,
I didn't watch any
I
of it.
saw videos here and there, but I
It
heard
was just
Camilla wasn't
weird.
there.
She was there, I think.
She
was there.
was? Oh, I
I
heard
think
that she
yeah, she
wasn't.
was there.
She looked
Yeah, she was
really
there.
like she looks whoa, like that's insane.
I didn't watch too much of it. What I did see of it is they all had like these weird robes on, and it was all very culty to me.
Culty,
It looked
yeah,
very,
regimented like cult
you know?
like.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you guys know like how Princess Diana died?
Yeah, car crash. Trying to get away from the paparazzi, but there's a lot of other stuff that is going into that.
Yeah. So she was with her boyfriend, I believe, or fiance, right? And he was
Well, there's like a rumored speculation they were going to be engaged, but they weren't technically engaged.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, there you know, it's part of the speculation. It's like he was going to propose and that she was pregnant. That's part of like all part of
yeah.
the
Yeah.
That's it.
And he's
and that
Middle Eastern. He was
and he
Middle
was
Eastern,
Muslim,
right?
Yeah.
right? He was a
yeah.
Muslim. And so they didn't, there's like a whole conspiracy behind it. Like they didn't want the grandkids, like, well, because William isn't William, yeah, William's like the heir, right? To the
Yeah.
to the throne.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
didn't want like his like stepdad family or whatever being Muslim, you know what I mean? Like being connected to the royal family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, so they supposedly they asked this gentleman who was like a bodyguard or something like that, or he oversees something. He might not have been a bodyguard, but they asked him to drive for whatever reason to get them away from paparazzi, and he actually was drunk, supposedly.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then they had a bodyguard, so the bodyguard was the only one who survived the crash. And so it was four of them in the car, and then this white car, I can't remember what it was, but they're going through this tunnel, and this white car was really close to them, and then they hit one of the center pillars, and the white car was never seen again.
Because there was loads of motorbikes chasing him as well, weren't there?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they connect that to like a gang or something like that. And I can't remember
Didn't
the
she
name.
go to the hospital and didn't she?
Yes, she
Yeah,
died in the hospital.
like 4 hours later.
Yeah.
She died. Yeah, like about 4 hours later in the hospital.
And there was the way that they did it. I guess they didn't like try to they did something wrong in the beginning when the EMTs showed up on site. Like they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So there's another there's another thing that it said that they were paid off to like, delay. So they delayed getting her to the hospital is what it was. So she didn't get to and the hospital wasn't very far from what I heard. So like they could have gotten her there within an hour, but instead she didn't get to the hospital until almost 4 hours later.
She was supposed to do a interview with that Martin Brashear guy, and from what I've been understanding, she was about to drop a bomb on the whole royal family.
So what was said was he said that so when after she married Charles, the queen drugged her and then she watched her consume a child while she was drugged out.
Oh,
I've heard that too.
That's what that guy said that she told him.
whoa!
Yeah.
Who was that? Who said that? Sorry,
Martin.
Martin
was his
Brashear.
last- What was his last name, Arnie?
Bashir or something. Bashir Bahari or something.
He's French, right? He's a
Yeah,
French
I think
guy.
he interviewed Michael Jackson, maybe.
Yeah.
Man. I think she's a draconian lizard. I think she's a descendant from
The queen?
the queen. They're from a long time ago, and from the draconians they're also called Targizians or whatever. They stay with their shapeshifters, and they drink this blood. It's like adrenochrome, or they stay young. Look how young she kept her skin and stuff. But I don't know. I think I think there's I don't think like Princess Diana or anything like that. But in her bloodline, I think she's part of that ancient reptilian race, humanoid race that can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it comes back. I think it all stems down from Tartaria, in my opinion. If you know
Yeah.
anything about like Tartaria and the mud floods and stuff like that.
Yeah, is that part? Damn, I was just reading something about that a little bit
Because
ago.
I mean, look at the castles, right, Tommy? Like the entrances are fucking humongous.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Doors and shit, they're like fucking 15 feet high.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I always
and
wondered why
Anakis and all
castles
that
are
shit.
so high. Why are the entrances so high on castles?
Yeah, and old buildings too, like here in the United States. Like if you go to
Really
the
big,
Capitol
big
buildings,
doors.
they're
Yeah,
really tall.
that's
And
true. I always kind of wondered that. Like, I
yeah,
mean, really tall.
Why
yeah.
would they
So
do that? Why would they make him so big if they don't have to?
exactly. So it and to be like and to be built so long at a certain time where technology and construction like tools and stuff were a little more primitive than they are now. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So to especially when you go back to the castles, they probably were building the castles by hand.
Yeah.
So
and it's
you,
Well,
it's fun.
okay.
It's weird to have such a huge castle that you built from hand by hand. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's always baffled me. And then the like the Great Wall of China, that fucking those stones were huge. And they're saying, oh, they
yeah,
dragged them. The slaves dragged them, and millions of slaves died building that wall and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it all comes down to vibration and
Yep.
Tartarian giants. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. I definitely believe the history that we are told is obviously not what it was.
right.
For
And
Yeah,
sure.
I always say that history is written by the victor, but just because the victor is writing it doesn't mean they're telling the truth.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
So like obviously you win something, or you like a war, you win the war, you smite the your enemy or whatever, and you're writing about the reasons you went to war and stuff. You consider yourself a good guy because what you believed in to go into that war um was what you thought was a good thing, and what they were fighting you for was what they thought was good. So
Yeah,
when you're writing it, you make it seem like you were the good guy and they were the bad guys. Um so yeah, so this white car is supposedly the white car that they saw when Princess Diana crashed is the same white car that Martin guy owns.
Oh.
really.
So and I can never say his last name, so I don't ever even try.
Bashir, it's Bashir.
Bashir, I think you
Bashir.
were very
Yeah,
close. It's
yeah,
Bashir H something. It's
All right.
SIZ or something.
So he was a suspect for a little bit, but they concluded that he wasn't in the area. But it was said that they saw a dog in the car, and he has a dog that he always has sitting in the car with him. So
interesting.
Yeah.
they, even though like, and he's like, why would I be sitting out there trying to get pictures of her if I'm gonna be meeting with her in like I was supposed to meet with her like next week or so. So
Yeah.
I thought that was odd. Not only that it's the white car that disappeared, and it's the delay of getting her to the hospital because she was still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that is odd to me. So I definitely believe that the queen didn't want Muslim children in the bloodline.
And then they embalmed her like really fast. There's
Yep.
like about them embalming her really fast but they were and then they actually did like they did check like a pregnancy test for her and this was a whole thing, and they said that she wasn't, but It was after the embalming process had started, so you wouldn't even know, kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
if that was a thing.
There was a big rumor that she was pregnant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think even before it happened, like people were
Yeah.
saying it.
And she prophesized this. She talked about this, right? She
She
journaled
did.
this.
She did. Yeah.
She journaled that Charles wanted to marry, and it wasn't. Is her name Camilla? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Camilla, yeah.
Camilla.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't her. She said it was another girl that starts with a T. I can't remember her name, but she said it was this other girl. And she said that they're planning to do something to her car, something to the brake lines, to do something to kill her. She had literally wrote that she journaled.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean, that
she
shows
said she was going to
evidence.
die in a crash or some kind of crash. Or
She said it was going to be her car. She said they were doing something to her car, and that they were doing something to her car, like cutting the brake lines, and so that he could remarry. I don't understand. Is it because I know he was allowed to remarry, right? So he was allowed to remarry, but was like frowned upon. Like what, why? I'm not familiar with that. Why would he have to?
Yeah.
Why would she need to be knocked off for him to get married? I don't understand that. Can you help me?
Well,
They
when she
were
journaled,
divorced, weren't they?
yeah. Well, she journaled that when they were still together.
Right.
They were
wow.
still
They
married.
weren't married. They weren't divorced yet. They
No,
weren't.
yeah,
I got
exactly.
you. It would be better for her to die off in an accident than go through the whole divorce process and it come out. I get you. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Because it was on the front page of one of the big newspapers in the UK, a letter that she supposedly wrote saying that they're going to kill me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I read
was. It was
that
on the
too.
news. Oh,
The
wow.
Daily Mirror, I think it was, which is a big newspaper. It was a big newspaper. I don't know if it still is now in the UK, and that was on the front page
Oh, wow.
before it happened.
Before the crash happened?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Damn,
I'm not
son.
definitely 100% sure on that, but I think that's. I
was
read
just
something
reading
about it
that.
the other day.
I think you're right there, Rob.
Yeah, I read something the other day about it as well.
So, how old were you guys when Diana passed away?
Shit.
Ooh, so I'm 35 now, so
You're the same age as me, so you were probably
I was about a 10.
Yeah, 10, 11.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest one here, so I'm almost 50, I guess. So 47. So
wow, you look good, man. I wish I
Yeah,
had
man.
your jeans.
yeah, I'm a shapeshifter.
Don't tell them. Don't tell
I
people.
would have said 25, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
I would have
Thank
said
you.
about
Same.
man.
I got good genes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I need some of that.
Fortunately.
I need some of that, man.
I put snail mucin on my face every day to keep this reptilian look.
So you probably have a better memory because you would have been a teenager at this time.
Yeah.
Almost. No,
she died at 36.
You were like 20.
Over that. Because I was in college.
You were in college?
I was 19 years old when it happened. So I was in college, and I was in college for media. So I wanted to be paparazzi. So it was very interesting for me, the whole thing.
So you guys will have like a way better memory than Tommy and I would have, because
I remember it was like, it was just all over the place. It was like everybody was all depressed. Like, oh no,
it was crazy. Like it was literally, you would think somebody that we personally knew, like you would think that your parents, because your parents were really the ones that acted wild. Like I was 19, and like I said, royal family's like whatever. Like we knew who Princess Diana was because she was basically like the Kim Kardashian of then, right? Like that's what it was. So it's like everybody knew who she was. Everybody knew her fashion sense, like things like that, especially girls, especially females. And then men, they thought she was attractive. So everybody knew who Princess Diana was. And it did strike everyone like when Michael Jackson died, everybody's like, oh my,
Yeah.
So that really did happen. And it was literally like, it was every TV, we didn't have that much kind of TV back then. You got to understand, like, even if you had, I grew up in the country, so we didn't have like even cable, but like, so you had like 4 channels, and like on all freaking channels, it was Princess Diana coverage, constant coverage, but there were no conspiracies. You didn't hear any of that I didn't hear that until like years and years later.
Wow.
I just remember that like the whole country was in mourning, like literally
You could feel
my-
it like a
My
collective.
mum, my mum
Collective
was super
consciousness.
sad. Like everyone around us, it was like a family member had passed at the time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do remember it was a weird day, even though I was young.
Yeah.
It was a proper weird day.
I remember
when
my
that
mom
happened.
having some weird emotions about it too.
Mine too.
we were
What
in
is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
we were in
kind of weird, honestly. Like, what? Why do all of our moms have this like
Yeah.
weird thing?
Well,
It's
so
kind of weird,
actually,
right?
what makes me think the reason of that could be was she was a woman advocate. She was advocacy
True.
for feminism.
True.
So and she was loved. Like she was
Yeah.
the people's, royalty. She was
Princess, yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
she was just very down to earth with everybody. She from what I hear of her, she would have given anybody the clothes off of her back to help them. So like she just was she portrayed such a selflessness that was unmatched from the things that I hear about her. So I think that's a big reason why people felt so bad about it. But I remember being in the grocery store and seeing it on the magazine cover, and my mom just being like looking at it, and she held it in her hand. She's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
And I was just like, "Who the fuck is that?"
she was the princess of the world. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, basically,
Yeah.
she was so beloved. It was crazy. So, but yeah, so her and Charles had William and Harry, and then I heard actually Callie was the first person to tell me this, that was it Meghan Markle?
Yeah.
Had
Meghan and Harry they literally were almost in an it was like just the day after you confirmed to be like, hey, what about the time or whatever? And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Did you see? I was on Snapchat actually, and I see that Harry and Meghan literally almost get in a catastrophic accident being chased by the paparazzi last week. And I'm like,
Really?
in New
Yeah, you
York,
were telling
in
me
New York,
too.
look it up.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, get out of here. And that's crazy because that's like a profit, like Whitney Houston's daughter died exactly the same way, in a sense, like almost a year, like exactly the same way, right? Exactly. That's not a coincidence. That's two people killed off in a family, right? For whatever reason, that's two people killed off. And then it's something that's so close to it's a big thing to be talked about, why all kinds of like legislations being done, like a divert kind of thing,
Yes.
So I can't believe that, like, as we were going to talk about this, and what's funny, even last night, I'm watching TikTok. Funny, the universe kind of does this to me. Like when something happens, it keeps bringing it to me.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Bud Light girl that it's a big controversy right now. I'm seeing her. Her name is Dylan. I don't remember her last name, so I don't want to get it wrong. But Mulvey or something, or I don't know,
Mulvaney.
Yeah. So anyhow, I just scrolling and see it, and she's in a princess. It literally says Diana. Last night, as I was like looking through stuff, I was like, "What in the world?" Like nobody's even talked about this. Now all of a sudden, it's coming up constantly to me.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you guys see the video with Meghan Markle and Harry? I think it was during COVID or whatever. It was the strangest thing, and they got to come out on the balcony.
Yeah.
This is what
I know
brought
what you
my
mean.
attention to this whole shit. And dude, they were like, that was the weirdest things. Either they were robots or
They're
they
like
didn't
puppets
blink.
or something.
Look,
They didn't
literally
blink, or it was the weirdest thing, man. I can't believe they put it on. I was like, well, what the fuck is that, man? That's
Yeah.
what started bringing my attention to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That was strange. Cal, I think
That
I
was
sent you
weird.
that video, Cal.
But
Yeah,
like the problem is like with all of like the AI and the social stuff. I mean, another conspiracy like Britney Spears, I literally think she's being AI'd into everything now. And when
Yeah.
they show you see things disappearing in and out. You see flashes.
Yeah.
You see it disappearing. That's when we really need to talk about one day, y'all. We really need to sit down and talk about Britney Spears because that's insane.
Did you see the video? There was a video of Britney Spears the other day where she was doing some sort of dance, and if you stopped it at one certain point, the face was completely different.
Yes.
Different eyes, different
The
eyes,
fucking Illuminati,
different.
man.
Yeah.
And I saw a video of Willow Smith performing actually literally last night, and she puts her hand out as she's singing, and her fucking finger, as she puts her hand out, her finger grows like fucking 3 inches.
Yeah, look at Patrick
Wow.
Mahomes' wife, dude. Did you see that picture I had?
Yeah. Yes.
With her finger
her
on the
hand.
phone. It's
Yeah.
like
Like
10 inches
Weird,
long.
man.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh, yeah, and his brother is facing rape charges right now.
he thinks
So
it's funny. He thinks it's a joke. That dude thinks it's a joke.
The
yeah,
dancer.
that fucking
does all
dude's he's a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck what anybody
Yeah,
says.
he's a dog turd.
Mahomes' brother is a fucking
Mm.
piece of shit. And
He's a fucking dog
he was
turd.
coming out of the courthouse or whatever, and there was this black reporter, and he's like, you know, if you were a real black guy, you would be in fucking jail for this.
Wow.
It made me laugh, but at the same time, like, it's, you know, because he's complaining that it's because he's black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that black reporter was like, you know, if you were actually black, you would be
Like if
in
Mahomes
jail.
was, yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Wow.
So like, because I mean, Mahomes is half white, half black, and he's light skinned, and it's funny to me when if you get into the race thing, that when they are half white and half black, they are more accepted into the black community, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm actually trying to say, but they themselves portray themselves as black more than white, I guess.
Oh yeah, because right.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I guess that's where I was going with it, because I mean,
First of all, look,
from my perspective, from being white, I accept I don't really see color that much. Like, I accept
everybody's
everybody,
same.
and for whatever race, religion, creed, you know, sexuality, I think we all deserve to be here. So
Yeah.
we're just
Yep.
trying to live life the best way that we can. And
as long as you're not harming other people, now you're asshole. But
yeah,
as long as
my
you're not harming
favorite
other
line. This is my favorite line. Tommy knows this line. I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck what you do with consenting adults, as long as you're not fucking hurting anyone, especially children. I don't give a fuck what
Yeah.
people. Same.
The legend. The legend.
And people and animals don't just don't hurt kids and animals. You're good. Don't even
Yeah.
just don't hurt people.
Yep.
Just like
Yeah. Just be
that's
nice.
a really
Yeah.
good thing just to live by. You know, we've forgotten about that. We've really disconnected from people, and we've really forgotten how to be nice to people.
Yeah, well, we are disconnected from nature itself a lot. I mean, look at the
Not
city.
me, thank God.
Not you, no. But they build these cities so big and concrete to separate, you know, us from Earth, from
And
the mother.
people like fall victim to it, you know.
Yeah,
Like
for
even
real.
this morning, we're walking down the beach. My homegirl and I are, and there's a guy just on the phone, you know, like back to the sunrise, like just walking, like oblivious. I'm like, well, at least he's out here like earthing and getting some, you know, at least he's doing that and not laying in bed. So you still got to give him props, but it's like we're not focused on anything except for digital, you know, the control
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
man.
I've been into this thing a lot lately where I think I've been doing it for almost 2 months now, where my phone has been on silent completely.
Oh, mine's been that way for years.
Yeah.
And once you learn that life hack, Arnie, doesn't everybody complain about that with me? Because my phone goes, Arnie will tell you, I had to give him the little hack about it yesterday or a couple days ago, because every time anybody calls, my boyfriend will be like, why the fuck do you think you're so important, Miss President? What is so important with Miss President that I was like, yo, I don't want to be sticker shocked every time I hear a buzz or every time I feel that I've got to answer. You know, I had a very good friend of mine recently not want to be my friend anymore because I didn't answer them fast enough and I didn't do things on their time and the way they were. And I just had to be real, like, listen, I'm not attached. I know that I work online. I know I do a lot of stuff online, but I'm not attached to my phone like everybody is. And I used to be, and I understand it, but I am so involved with nature. Or like, how do you meditate if your phone's vibrating on you? How are you meditating? You can't meditate. Like,
Exactly. So I'll leave my phone in like different
not
rooms of the house. So like when me and my kids are hanging out or something, like I won't hear it. Like, so
That's awesome.
if I accidentally leave it in the kitchen and we're sitting in the living room, when I would have the noise, I would hear it and I'd be like, I would sit there for a second. I'd be like, well, I should probably go check that, you know, and I'd get up and I'd go fucking check it. So I'd separate from my kids, you know, and go check my phone and see what it is. So, but lately I've been, it's been on silent, you know, and dating doesn't really go very well for having your phone on silent, but you want
What
to
I
know
just
what?
say?
Like
What do you say, Mr. President? Like
yeah,
Have-
I'm doing me, you know what I mean? So
you have to. And that honestly, when you do that, let me tell you something too, just about abundance and shit in general. When you do that and you're outdoors and you, especially as a parent, you're going to be rewarded. Those are what rewards call. This is religion tries to smash it all into this, but it's not religion, it's spirituality. It's being connected with nature. I live it every day. I
Yeah.
witness people go. I had a friend one day tell me, like, you're not an atheist. I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, kind of. Yeah. And he was like, no, you're not. He's like, literally, and he's like, Protestant, normal Christian religion, but he's like, you witness what more than anybody I've ever seen. You ride with the top down. You literally like I look like a crazy woman. I drive a little convertible on the way home. I mean, the top is always down, so I'm brown because like I'm literally absorbing the sun. I was telling Arnie this morning, we're about to go do a team thing in a week, and I was like, you can ride with me, but just let you know, the top's going to be down. I don't care if it's 90 degrees. I'm going to be partaking in extracurricular cannabis activities. I will be listening to my type of music, and my dowsing rods sit on my dash to absorb energy. And when I do that, people think I'm crazy because I'm setting my boundaries. And I'm telling you, this is how I get ready for an investigation. You might not, because you can just pick up a whatever electronic and do whatever, but I have to absorb that because I'm one with this shit, right? That's why I have all these gifts, my gifts. And when you start doing that, everything is better. You can feel like everything. You're eating, you're exercising, your mental health, everything, because you're clearer, because you're connected to what created you. Like, we've lost that.
yes,
Yeah.
for sure. I agree with you 100%.
Um,
So,
I wanted to bring something up.
Yeah,
Have you guys been noticing it's a lot of these videos going around where their faces are changing, and like see that one with Katy Perry when she got sick on stage?
yes.
All
And
right.
she said,
And she's
she
like,
said, Master.
Master, help me.
Yeah.
Master, help me.
Yeah,
So
man.
weird, man. Yeah. And when she
It's
touched like her
all
foot,
coming out. And like
touched her head and her eye.
Yeah, that eye thing was so weird with her. And
Weird.
there's the whole thing with her being like John Benet Ramsey too. Like, I can really see that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could see that so like.
Yeah. I haven't really heard a lot about that.
You haven't?
Conspiracy, no.
What is
Oh
it?
my goodness, there's a conspiracy because the age difference is only like a couple years, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But basically, the conspiracy on Katy Perry is that she was, John Benet Ramsey that got. But you all were really young when that happened. When
Yes.
John Benet Ramsey was killed on Christmas Eve or whatever, she was like 4 or 5 years old or
Yeah.
whatever. And they
Well, they
still
don't know that she was killed. They just found blood.
she's missing, right? And she
Right.
was missing. They don't know. You're right. They never know what happened. And there's a whole conspiracy that she's, part of like the whole child trafficking ring in Hollywood, because it's huge. It's fucking huge.
And there's a picture. There's a picture of her with what looks like Ghislaine Maxwell behind her.
Yep. And so they're saying that if that was the case, they bring her out, they program her into this pop star, which makes sense. Look at Katy Perry. First of all, no shade, but when she came out, she was not that talented. It was some California Girls bop, which was a bop, girl. It was a bop.
I Kissed a Girl. That's the first thing
that was
I ever
it.
heard.
That was the first one. I Kissed a Girl, which was like a bop. It was cool to be bisexual too at the time, so it's
Yeah.
really cool. So, and she was like this Christian girl that turned into this, so it was like really a hit. I got it, which stirred all kinds of controversy up and made her be seen. Her little robot, like she looks like a Desperate Housewife robot kind of thing. Just the way she moves.
Yes.
Right? So if she was programmed from say the age of like 4, and this is what she was taught to do, right? Then just like Britney Spears, she almost is robotic at some point, and now she's like spiraling out of control because she's not being controlled in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
she was married to Russell Brand though, wasn't she?
Yes.
He was, yeah.
Yep.
And Russell Brand, he sort of seems to be on our side of the conspiracies at the moment.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
Yeah. He talks so fast and so like he gets straight to the fucking point so quickly. Because when you listen to conspiracies, they give you like this whole like thing, and he's just like, he talks so fucking quick, so you get all the information within like 5 minutes.
He's a clever guy.
He's so smart. He's so intelligent. I love him.
My mum was good mates with his mum.
No shit.
Back in the day, yeah.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
My mum lives in France now, so she didn't see them, but yeah, she used to be good mates with her.
That's awesome. So the have you ever heard of the Black Eye
Black Guy Club.
Club? Yeah. So
Dude.
it's weird. What's throws me off with that. So my kids are related to Steve Buscemi. And
Really?
Adam
Steve
Sandler.
Buscemi?
Yeah, and Adam Sandler is
Wow.
supposedly a black-eyed kid.
Yeah.
Black Eye in the Black Eye Club. So
Really?
and so it said that Steve might be as well, which kind of bothers me a little bit just
Yeah,
because
there's a picture of him. I got a picture of him in
yeah,
the club.
yeah. So yeah, my ex-wife is Steve's cousin.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Small world.
yeah, I only bring that up because your mom's friend it was friends with Russell Brand's mother, so
Yeah.
I think it's funny how like we kind of sort of
Yeah,
like
man.
connected to like these known
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But yeah, my he invited my ex-wife and my kids to the set of Hubie Halloween. So
Oh, nice.
I have
Wow.
a couple pictures of my kids
Wow,
with
man.
Steve, Adam, and stuff. And then when I started hearing about this Black Eyed Club, man, I was just like, my kids were there. Like they could have been like,
Jeez.
because the
Yeah.
Black Eyed Club is like it has to do with pedophilia.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wow, man.
So I was like,
Yeah,
That's
fuck?
Adam
that's a
Sandler's
very
one of my
disturbing. Did you see the
favorites.
picture with
Yeah,
Tom
me
Hanks?
too.
Do you see the picture with Tom Hanks and Oprah's behind him? And
No.
Michael Obama? Michael, I call him. And there's a picture. He's got that black eye, and there's a picture in the background with the hot dogs, the clock,
Yeah.
and it links into that child pedophilia, man. It's just shit crazy, man. It's like it was a pizza with hot dogs on it, you know, like the Pizza Gate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they were standing right there, and he's holding a sign saying, "I'm not allowed to speak." And they were on this long cruise or something.
Huh.
Yeah, it's just it's
Wow.
a lot of it's starting to come out, man. A lot of it's
And you know what's
Yeah.
crazy is Corey Feldman talked about this 25 years ago. Corey Feldman talked about all of this. I mean, you think about it. Drew Barrymore was hooked on drugs at 12 years old.
At 12
Hooked
years
on
old.
drugs. Hooked on drugs, had to go to rehab at 12.
And there's
Was
videos
drinking
of
at
her.
8 years old, doing cocaine.
Right, and
in
they had
clubs.
videos of her on like TV shows and stuff like that of her drunk at parties
Like
with
talking
adults.
to David Letterman about doing drugs at like 10 years old. She's literally at 10. You know, you go back to even let's bring up R.Kelly recently with everybody
my
like, oh my
God.
God, R.Kelly. What? We knew about
Trash
this.
human.
We were literally shipping, as we would call it, right? We call it shipping, right?
Yeah.
We were literally on 106 and Park or whatever. They were literally, the VJs were literally like, so you're matching, like, oh, it's your 15th birthday or whatever, like, and then they ask about her and Rob being a couple, like y'all are literally want to know what the tea on them being a couple, and you know he's 27 and she's 15. You know that. It's not like you don't know that, and
Yeah.
it was okay then. But now all of a sudden we act like it was, oh my goodness, such a big deal. Well, y'all had no problem with him doing it then, so why y'all mad at him now? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, why are we mad at him now? We knew about all this, you know.
Yeah.
So it's wild to me. Those kind of things are wild to me, like what we allowed then, and then now we're like, or we thought, like you said, I just didn't even think about that. Like, I remember her being on David Letterman as a child, like talking about getting fucked up in the clubs.
Yes.
Mm.
It's fucked up. And then I think he groomed Aaliyah and raped her. He was
Who, R.
seen
Kelly?
yeah, when she was 15.
He was married to her. They got married.
Did they?
R.Kelly. Oh man,
I didn't know that.
I'm hot on this one. I can tell you so many things about that. You want to talk about a long podcast?
I think
R.Kelly
he
killed
killed
a
her.
little girl.
I think he killed her.
No, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. It was the family. It was his man. I know so much about this. It was her mother. Okay, so let me tell you,
Right.
Barry Hankerson, which was her uncle, who's the guy who linked her up to R. Kelly at 13 or whatever years old, knew that R. Kelly fucked with little girls. He knew because R. Kelly's entourage would send out people to have him fuck with little girls. But you gotta understand, back then, because this is my age time, it was acceptable. Like, My aunt was married off at great aunt, I guess, at 14 years old to like a 40-some-year-old man. Like that wasn't abnormal to want your 14 or 15-year-old girl to be like linked up with someone who had money or someone with a stature. You know what I mean? All these people that got so mad about their girls falling in love with R. Kelly and him trapping them. No, you sold their girls to him. You literally went to concerts, went there. You knew what the peace scandal was in the 90s or early 2000s.
Yes.
So you willingly took your kid there, put them in the hands of R. Kelly, and then get mad when they don't want to leave, when he's brainwashed them. Like anybody with money, I'm a 45-year-old woman, and you put me in a situation with a hot man. I think it's hot, fine as shit with a lot of money. No, can finesse me now, and I'm a very smart, educated, successful woman. You know what I mean? So people don't look at shit like that. You know what I mean? And but anyhow, Aaliyah's mother owns all of R. Kelly's albums up to a certain point. He does not make any money on anything. Aaliyah's mom owns them because she allowed that marriage to happen. They got married illegally. One of his bodyguards or someone that worked for him went to the courthouse to get the paperwork, faked everything. They got married. And part of the dissolvement of the marriage, there was an agreement that he signed over the rights to his music to Aaliyah's mom, can't remember her name, and Barry Hankerson. But the whole thing is like, there's a whole conspiracy about him. Like he did all kinds of weird sex anyhow, but like having sex with Aaliyah and her mom at the same time. Like her mom pretty much whored her out. And I'm pretty sure her mother, had her killed. That's my gut on her family did.
Yeah, so
which is embarrassing too. Getting
right.
married at 15 years old to at 20, and once again, there's speculation she was pregnant at some point too. And you can't tell me his wife didn't know all this was going on downstairs in her house. Like, come on, man, this is wild. Like, later on when he married the next woman that was there for everything.
Yeah.
But there were girls on the tour bus. There are people who were like backup singers and dancers that constantly talk about that talk about, and a lot of them were like silenced during this whole R. Kelly thing. You know what I mean? Do you know who Tanya K is or whatever her name is?
No.
She talks a lot about, that's where I like learned so much information. She would have interviews with like his brothers and stuff. And R. Kelly wrote a book when he wrote a book. R. Kelly actually couldn't really read or write. And he was actually, he got coerced into signing his rights away to his music because he could not read or write. And they knew that. And he actually had somebody do a book, like he wrote a book, but he talks about this girl, Lulu, who had passed away, his childhood girlfriend who had passed away. And they were like out playing house. They would go play house all the time in the park. And that one day they were in the park and they got bullied and she got shoved into the water and he couldn't get help. And by the time he got help, they found her down the river. But what happened, I'm telling you what happened, clairvoyant, I'm telling you what happened was he was touching her. And that little girl said some shit, 'cause there's little houses out there at the park and stuff. He was touching her, and she was like 5 or 6 years old. And that little girl started saying she's going to tell or whatever, and he killed her to shut her up. I guarantee you. And the song "I Believe I Can Fly" is about her. Oh, I got chills.
Wow.
I know I'm right. Oh, no, I'm right.
Holy shit!
That's just ruined Space Jam for me.
Yeah, I'll talk hours about that. Woo!
One of my favorite films, man.
Yeah, I used to sing that song all the time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I never ever heard that before in my life.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about that. Yeah, when it came like a few years ago, I was doing YouTube and I actually did a whole conspiracy video about it.
Wow.
It's not up anymore; it's privated, but yeah.
Oh.
And his brothers tell a lot of stuff too. Like he was molested as a child, so
R. Kelly was.
Yeah, by his older sister. All the boys were in the house. Well, one of them wasn't actually, but two of them were heavily molested by the older sister who would babysit them.
Uh-huh.
And
women can't be the perpetrator.
Well, what would happen was one of the boys was embarrassed and would never tell anyone. You know what I mean? Like he would never tell anyone. And R. Kelly went out, his name's Rob as a kid, being literally 4 or 5 years old, going down in the hood, because the hood raised those kids, was going around the hood being like, because what she would do is she would keep one of them in the house and let the others go play, and she'd like lock one of them in the house, one of those two boys. There was an older boy too, but she didn't fuck with him because I think
he was older.
But the two younger boys she fucked with, and Rob would go tell everybody he was fucking. Rob would go out in the hood and be like, "Oh, I'm fucking," like 5 years old because he was a G, a little G thing to be fucking. But he didn't tell anybody he's fucking his sister. He didn't tell anybody that. But that's how his like weird, probably sexual deviancy started, was with that shit. And then he went. When you're touched like that as a child, you either shut down completely or you go touch other children. That's just what happens. It's one or the other. It's even as an adult, you're either super promiscuous or you don't want to have sex at all. I mean, it's usually there's no
one or
healthy
the other,
boundary.
right?
It's like, it's
you don't, because you're scarred so early, you don't know what healthy is.
You really don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like a trauma response in a relationship. You're going to constantly keep going to bad shit because that's what you're comfortable with. What you know what love is. It's kind of the same thing.
Right.
Sorry to get way off topic with that, but
no, it's good. It's good. It all falls in the line with
but the same thing. The entertainment industry, the pedophilia, it's all part of that. And we don't know that the royal kids haven't been part of some of that stuff. And Diana was trying to escape it. We don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
The price you pay to be in that. I mean, Meghan Markle found out real fucking quick, which is why she got as far the fuck away as she can get away from it. And everybody thinks she's such a bitch. But from my point of view, I see she walked in, and yeah, I know they use the race thing with it a lot. And I agree with that too, because when you listen, I was raised in Southern Tennessee, okay? Raised in Southern, actually Northeast Tennessee, but Southern, the South. But I'm telling you, my boyfriend mentioned this just the other day, that when you are taught, because our governor just did some stuff, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't really see a thing with it, because like I'm used to open carry, because like in Tennessee we raised with a shotgun by the door and you can open carry anywhere. And he's like, see, because you're used to that, like you don't realize like what it does to someone like me, like a really big, tall, big black guy. You don't understand what that does for me. You know what I mean? Like because you come from privilege and you come from like a cult-like mentality in a sense of that. He didn't say it that way, but that's basically what he's getting at. And he's not wrong with that. So whenever anything impedes that, like the royal family, with anything that's not cookie cutter the way it's supposed to be, with the robes like you said, or the hat with the weird chin strap here, whatever it is, if it's not cookie cutter and doesn't look a certain way, then they got to get rid of it, like however the fuck they need to do it. And the best way to do it is to kill somebody. I mean, because the reality of that is, and this is taught from a Southern daddy standpoint, is if you never threaten to shoot somebody, never, you do it. And when you shoot somebody, you shoot them to kill them. You don't shoot them to hurt them. You shoot them to kill them. So you need to make sure you use that gun.
Center mass.
If you're going to use that fucking gun, you better make sure that you're in the right. You better make sure that you killed them, because you don't need anybody coming up with any other story, because otherwise you gotta plead your case. So
when I went and got my conceal permit, he said, when you're dealing with an intruder, you hit center mass. If you hit anything else, it's considered as a crime. Like it will be considered as attempted murder, because you weren't trying to kill them.
And you will get off quicker on the murder charge.
Yeah, and they said that he said that if you don't hit center mass, you essentially they say that you weren't afraid enough for your life if you're not shooting to kill. So when you're dealing with an intruder, they can sue you if you fucking don't kill them.
I know a story. This guy broke into some guy's house. He went through the sky roof and fell down on the kitchen table. And
I heard this story. It was an old lady.
Shoot him, dude.
Yeah, it was an old lady. It was an old lady that owned the house, and he fell on her knife in her kitchen, and he fucking sued her.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
You break into someone's house and you can sue them. That's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it is mental. And with this child stuff too, we can go back to the Queen going to Canada to these boarding schools of Indigenous children, and all of a sudden it's thousands of Indigenous children that they're finding underneath these schools.
That's got crazy.
Yeah, look at the Vatican has underground shit too, man.
Yeah,
the Vatican. This thing goes deep, dude. This
Vatican's crazy. Did you just see this new thing? Did you just see this new thing about how all these kids are being fucking raped and molested? Did you just see this
in the Vatican?
I just saw it literally this morning.
Really?
Yeah, hold on. Let me look.
They have underground hunt parties, man, with the
Yes,
royals.
I've heard that.
And whoever they kill, they keep their genitals a fucking trophy, man. And one of the girls that was tortured down there, her keeper bought her freedom. And there's a thing on YouTube about her talking about the whole thing, and what she went through is torture and torture. But he felt some kind of way, and he paid for her freedom. And she talks about it in a video. She explains the whole thing, man. And there's another lady that was brought there and witnessed this thing with the kids. They drugged them and they sent them out and they went to hunt them. And she's looking like, what the fuck, like to her fiance, what the hell did you bring me to? She's looking around. There's a judge, there's the chief of police, there's all the high ups are in there, man. It's fucking sick over there in Sweden or something. It's very disturbing, man. And
Yeah. Jesus.
Hey,
Crazy.
did you know that it's alluded to, or it said even that the driver was an informant for the Secret Service?
I've heard that.
Which reminds me of the guy, did you get Behold a Pale Horse? Which reminds me of that guy, William Cooper, that wrote that, you know what I mean? Like he started coming out with things, and I mean he was murdered. So they're saying that I had this open. I forgot I had this open. I was reading this the other day and I went to look at something else, whatever we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And I just saw, it was like he actually was an M16 officer.
M16, that's the all the guys that were on the bikes. That's what it was.
It says it said that he had spread a rumor that he'd seen intelligence files for an assassination of a foreign politician in Paris that had an eerie similarity to Diana's deadly crash, leading to rumors that the driver, Henry Paul, was in on the scheme and was feeding information to M16. It says, but he had also happened to been let go from M16 to leaking secrets. Well, so you mad he leaked another secret like that? How are you gonna say he's lying whenever you let him go for leaking secrets? Like, make that one make sense.
Yeah.
Stop it.
That's interesting.
Okay.
yeah.
Do you guys know the conspiracy with Prince Harry?
I
Which one?
haven't heard.
I know there's loads, but they say that he's not Charles's son.
Oh
Have you
yeah.
seen that?
Oh
Sure.
yeah, I have heard that
You're saying
actually.
he's that who?
James Hewitt.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a spit. Obviously he had an affair with Diana, but
Yeah.
he was a spit. He's a spit of Harry. You put two pictures of them two together, they look exact. They've got the same nose and everything,
Especially at
and they're
that
both
age.
ginger. Yeah.
I mean, exactly like that. I did see that.
Wow.
And
That's
obviously
crazy.
all this stuff with Harry at the moment, you know.
Yeah, they're right. The car accident. They're probably.
Yeah.
I think they're probably trying to kill him.
Well,
Yeah.
also because
Yeah.
him and Meghan Markle are like talking, you know, and they're like, you know, they're not happy with that. They're really not happy with that.
Yeah, right. He went to the coronation by himself. I know
She's
that.
gonna
Yeah.
if she don't stop fucking around for real, like not trying to be like whatever, live your best life, girl. But I mean, you reality, like I would literally change my whole identity and because she thinks it's a game, and I get it because I'm kind of that same personality, like bad bitch, like you fuck with me, I'm just gonna keep. But the thing is, you got to know when to stop that shit because you're fucking with some real ass shit there, and they're gonna kill her. They're gonna kill
Hell
her.
yeah.
I don't think you could hide from them. I just
You're
don't think
probably
you
right.
get away. I think they've
There's
got
no
so much
way.
power. You probably wouldn't be able to change.
And she needs to stop fucking around and just go live her
Yeah,
best life.
do
And
what
just
she's told.
go
Yeah.
live in the suburbs like you want. Do have your little farm, whatever the fuck it is. But stop fucking doing interviews. If you don't want to be part of that, you left that because you don't want to be part of that, right? I
Yep.
get that maybe you want to like throw some shade because your little butt hurt because of what happened. You want to go throw some shade because you know those secrets and shit. But keep fucking around. Have you ever seen that fucking around find out, that little chart? Fucking
Yeah.
fuck around, you're gonna find out. She about right here. She go right here. She about to really fuck around and find the fuck out. I believe that.
Yup.
They just tried to kill her. I don't even think they were trying to kill him. I think they were trying to kill her. Really. And her mother. Her mother was in that car too. It was her mother, her, and him.
No
And
shit.
it said near catastrophic accident. It was in New York.
Wow.
Yeah,
And nobody heard about that. Look, nobody really heard about that. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I mean, I don't think they should be in our media anyway. But you know that is crazy.
But they live here now. Now they are our
Oh,
media.
they do. They do live here.
Are
They
you
live in
kidding
LA,
me?
don't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
In
Harry
California.
I didn't know
and
that.
Harry and Meghan Markle, they've lived here for a few years now since they left. They left the royal family.
Yeah.
Well, I knew they were separating themselves. I knew
Mhm.
that. I didn't realize that they were living.
They live in California, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. And she's from. Is she from California?
I don't think California, but she's from here.
Well, I know that. She's well,
Actually, I think she's Canadian, isn't she?
she's part black, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
part of the controversy is that they don't
Yeah, right.
want, they're
You
racist.
guys got to check out that video with them on the balcony when you get a chance. I'll send it to you later.
I've seen it. I
Yeah,
saw it
it's
earlier.
weird.
I've seen it too. It is weird. And then they're just standing
Strange
there
shit,
like this.
dude. Strange, man.
Like an
Yeah,
animatronic.
because with that video, if you was watching the balcony, if you was actually there, it
Yeah.
would probably just look like it was them. But
Yeah.
when you see the video up close, you can see it's like a puppet or a mask or something.
Yes.
Weird, man.
It is weird. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They did that for, but you know, when it and to get in with like fake stuff like that in Hollywood, once somebody starts getting like to a certain amount of fame, all of a sudden you don't hear from them, and then they come out even bigger than they were before, and they look different. Like
They do
Adele.
look different. Look at Kanye right now. Look at Kanye.
Oh
And
my
he's-
God.
Actually, listen to this.
Holy
He's
shit.
actually taller. And let me tell you, I am
Yeah.
Kanye. Years ago, I said Kanye is y'all. People think Kanye is crazy. Kanye is spitting some truths into some shit. And now something has happened to
He
Kanye.
bowed out.
Because
Yeah,
Kim
yeah.
Kardashian is only like 5'2", okay? And there's pictures of him with Kim Kardashian and Kanye. Listen, I have been in person with Kanye, okay? I am only 5'4". Kanye is like this much taller than me, maybe. Like, okay, so Kanye is probably 5'6" at the tallest, okay? His
Wow.
new wife, she's 5'9". She's
And he's taller than her.
5'9", and he's taller than her.
He's really big as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
he's
got-
really, and
got
his
quite-
face look oblong now. Kanye always had that
Yeah.
like box-shaped face. Like
Yeah.
now it's like this
And his
weird,
cheeks.
almost like stretched,
Yeah,
like
yep.
really. It looks like, you know what it looks like? You know what it looks like? It looks like in fuck, I can't. I'm like, it looks like Men in Black. Whenever in the opening scene, basically when he comes down and he takes the suit and he puts him over his like. That's what it looks
Yeah.
like.
There, is that better?
Over
Yeah.
somebody.
Obsidian, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that shit. Kanye
Yeah,
fucked around and
man.
found out.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yo,
Yeah.
they stopped his Apple Pay and shit, dude. Like he
Yeah.
was trying to buy stuff and they shut his whole shit down.
Yeah, but
Wow.
He was trying to talk about he was trying to expose Illuminati, and they were.
he's been though for like the longest time.
He's in the Black Eye Club too. There's a picture of it, but he totally flipped his wig, man.
Yeah, it's weird that he's talking shit about Balenciaga and how he doesn't want his daughters to ever wear anything from Balenciaga, and then all of a sudden we don't hear from him. He goes missing, and then he
Oh,
comes
but wait,
back
wait,
and
there's
he's
more to
wearing
that.
Balenciaga.
I was gonna
shit.
say the new Ye and
Yeah.
his new wife is wearing Balenciaga.
Yeah.
And Kanye's like, you want to talk to me about shit, but like Balenciaga's basically doing fucking BDSM shoots with fucking kids,
Children.
alcohol and shit, but you're gonna talk. And Kim Kardashian's a face of it. Like her little girl is wearing Balenciaga decked out in these like full on black face masks, these black capes and shit. Like this little girl's doing this shit. I don't know, man. That's weird. And so Kanye calls it out, and then like you said, he goes rogue. He goes fucking rogue.
Yep.
He comes back wearing Balenciaga.
Yeah.
Like
That's the biggest tell right there, I think.
that's
Not-
insane.
Not even the fact that he looks different. It's just the simple fact that he's wearing Balenciaga when he was talking so much shit.
He looks
Yeah.
so.
That's their way of letting us know. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
can do anything.
Fuck
It
you,
doesn't
you
matter
fucking
who the
want.
fuck you are. We're gonna fucking put hands on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see that video with Post Malone now? He's all.
Oh my
fucking
god,
loopy and
he's
shit.
been fucking. He went off the fucking
I don't
reservation
know.
too,
I
man.
mean, wow.
There's
Holy
a video with him, and he's like falling on the stage, and you can see this thing like toying with his head, like and laughing.
Yeah. He's
Did
you see that
video
he's
too?
gotten weird at his concerts for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He was in the UK last week.
Yeah.
My friend went to see him. He said he was amazing.
He used to be great. I haven't seen him in years, but he used to be outstanding. Like he was.
Yeah. So there's this thing that when you when they have shit on you, they put you in a dress.
Yo, man.
And he did a performance. Post Malone did a performance in a dress.
Mhm.
Wow.
I've read that a lot. And you know who else says that? People that don't want people like that. You know, people who are loud. They don't want to
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm allowed.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm a loud person like that, so I know how people want to discredit you when you're like a truth teller and you're loud.
Yeah.
Because they would be like, "Oh, you're crazy. You just say it because you don't filter, you don't PC it. You're just like this is it, like right."
Yeah.
So
Post
shit.
Malone used to be a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And he's into paranormal. He's into ghost hunting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into ghost hunting too.
Yeah. So it was weird. What was weird about it is that all of a sudden, like he's like showing out for like in a dress, and he starts fucking being all weird on stage and shit. And then, like Arnie said, that video, it looks like there's literally a person just fucking with its hand on his head, and he's literally he's on his knees, and he has his head on the ground, and it's almost like he can't get up.
Yeah.
Because whatever that is pushing them down.
And even those like all those
man.
little Instagram like girl like the word Instagram, like little Tay girl. I don't know if you know about her, but little Tay, there's a thing about how, and I know a person that manages some of those girls that was telling me some crazy shit. Like these girls will do it whatever for fame. Girls and boys, they will. Look at the Island Boys. That's some weird ass shit too. There's a whole conspiracy with that too about them being Jeffrey Epstein's kids. There's a thing about that.
Yeah.
What, the Island Boys?
Yeah, that there's
I see that.
There's a picture of two twin boys that I mean they look like the Island Boys. They know one's got dark hair, one's got light hair, but like their faces when you look at them, look if you take the veneers out the Island Boys and the tattoos, I gotta be honest, like 10 years younger, it really could probably be them. Like, but there's a conspiracy about even that. But these young kids, because it's so easy to manipulate. You want that so bad. You want that. We see that in our community. People that want something so bad that they will give up their identity. They will throw everybody they know under the bus. They will do whatever they can because they want something so bad. And they will give up anything and everything for it, So you get some influencers, like, I don't know if you know who Woe Vicky is, but Woe Vicky talks about exactly what you're talking about them putting boys in dresses. She's talked about being at all these Hollywood elite parties. And she's like the biggest dudes you would never expect at all. They put them in dresses. They get them fucked up. They give them drugs. They put them in compromising situations, take videos and pictures of them, and then they blackmail them.
Yep.
Yeah. Didn't LeBron wear a dress the other day?
He did wear a dress the other day.
That's how you know. LeBron, we've known LeBron is controlled this whole time.
Yeah.
And that's just confirmation right there.
Yeah.
And in Hollywood, they like to do this to black men. They like to fucking
They love it.
They fucking once you get you're starting to get fucking you're starting to catapult and shit. You're starting to get like this momentum behind you, and they're like, hey, why don't you do this movie? I mean, Juana Man, Big Mama's House, fucking
White Chicks,
Nutty Professor, there's so many movies with black comedians that all of a sudden they're in a dress. They're dressed as a woman, and that's what
Kevin Hart did that shit too.
Did he?
Kevin Hart put a dress on, and then Chappelle. They tried to do that to Chappelle.
That's why he bounced. That's what one of the reasons. And he talks about it too. He's like, you fucking. They put black men in a dress, and he goes,
and he talks about the Hollywood elite. He won't call them any. He calls them like the Hollywood elites, and like he's like, what? I mean, like think about it. You had. And I think he kind of alludes to this in a sense, but he talks about how he's like, it wasn't, I mean, I got the money offer. Basically, why do you think a dude just dropped off, like gone, vanished? Like he was gone. Dave Chappelle was gone.
Yeah.
Like highlighted his career. He left. That's how scared he was.
Yeah. I like how he comes back and he's fucking jacked.
Oh yeah, like ripped too. He's like,
dude, yeah, he's fucking big now. his voice changed
That
too,
did. I agree with that too.
which is kind of weird to me. But I still think he's hilarious.
Yeah, same.
So with the fact that he is still as hilarious as he's always been, I it's hard to think that he's been switched up, but and then
And then what happened with the Jamie Foxx shit right now? I'm not kept up with that, but I keep seeing things saying like, oh, like publicly shit saying it's not even conspiracy. It's like, oh, Jamie Foxx is like on his deathbed. I'm like, what?
I haven't
You-
heard that,
Yeah.
but he wore a dress too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, something happened during production. I guess they said he went off the rails of the crazy train, and then something else happened. And the next thing you know, it's very vague, right? He's in the
Yeah.
hospital. He's still in the hospital. Right now, he's still in the hospital. Like, nobody knows what for. They just said he had, and they said it was like grim. Like, nobody knows what he's in the hospital for.
That's weird. I haven't
Mhm.
heard
Yeah,
that.
some kind of congestive heart failure or some shit.
Is that what
Oh.
it is?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. What do you do? Fucking play football and get hit in the chest, and all of a sudden he's fucking dying.
Yeah,
And then
there's
they're like,
some,
"Oh, well, if
there's
you
some
get
weird
hit in the
shit there, man.
chest if
That
you get
was weird.
hit in the chest at a certain time at a certain velocity, this can happen." Why, out of the many years of fucking American football, why is this the first time this has ever happened?
Freak accident.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
That was so weird. Everything that
just-
happened after that was weird as well, wasn't it?
yeah.
Like when he turned up to the game and you couldn't see if it was him or not. And
Yeah, and he looked
And then
super
like,
Really
it was,
scrawny.
weird
like,
signs.
normal. Like it was like so like, oh, he's not even gonna make it to like, like he's like normal, like nothing ever happened. Like that's wild.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Very, very. I think it's lizard people, and I think they infiltrated the royal family.
Yep.
I would love to see a lizard person in real life. I mean, I know a
I
lot of
don't.
snakes. You don't want to see one?
I mean, if I have my gun on my hip, yeah, sure.
Let me tell you, I got this. I don't know what this is with my
Dude,
must be a complex I have because I literally don't think there's anything that I'm not scared of anything. Like I don't think anything can hurt me. I mean, people
Well,
scare me.
the lizard people eat people, man.
I mean,
yeah, they're under the Denver airport, man. They're subterranean.
Yeah, there's something about the Denver airport. I've been hearing so much shit.
Dude, there's
Uh,
pictures of lizards all over the fucking airport.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
throwing it in your
Really?
face, man.
Yeah,
stop it.
Wow.
I gotta
yeah.
check this part out more.
Yeah,
the lizard part. I
me, and
gotta
my
check it out more.
me and my kids were gonna go to Denver back in February, but then I never did because I'm coming to Miami in October, so I wanted to make sure that I had the funds
That's
for
the
that.
place where the New World Order is going to submerge from. One of the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, and they said that airport has fucking a bunch of levels underground.
Yup, and they're all under
Wow.
that draconians.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And they got
Oh.
pictures of lizards mopping the floor or posters
yeah.
all over that fucking airport, man.
Yeah, and there
Wow.
was something about like UFOs back in I can't remember the year, but it was around the time it had just been built, or it happened right before they rebuilt it or something like that. Where there was
Yeah.
a UFO phenomenon there and nobody could talk about it or something. I don't know.
That's like
That
Skinwalker
shit's getting
Ranch.
crazy too now. There's a fucking UFO all over everywhere now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it's
so
everywhere.
I think that they're gonna
Gally's got
the
pictures
one
of
way
UFOs.
to implement the New World Order is they're gonna scare us with
Alien.
outside threat, outside of the world kind of threat, and then that's how they're gonna implement the New World Order, and they're gonna take over everything. And if you're not vaccinated, they're gonna hunt you down and kill you.
I'm so glad I'm old, so I don't have to worry about this for much longer. It's too much for me. Just put me in the ocean. Hey, just out of the blue, did you know that you can still be buried at sea? Like what?
Kid, what?
You can still be buried at sea.
A Viking?
You can
Or-
still be buried at sea. I just saw something about it the other day.
Huh.
But yeah, you can still literally be like, they put you on this, like they wrap you up in like a bunch of ferns and a bunch of plants and stuff, and like something that's like a compostable whatever wrap, and then they put all the flowers and ferns and shit around it, and like a mummy kind of, and they sandbag you, they weight you down with sandbags and take you out to the middle of the fucking ocean, and there's places they're allowed to drop you off.
Huh.
Like damn.
Ah.
Wow.
But like could you imagine if you did wash up? Like what? Somebody be like,
You'll-
oh my god, they were
yeah.
murdered. No, they were just buried.
You want to know how I want to be buried when I die?
How?
I want to be
Your
buried.
ass up so the world can kiss your ass.
No, but yes, that would be hilarious. But I want to be buried underneath a tree. Like you plant the tree, you put me in the ground, and then you plant the
Cool.
tree on top of me.
You could be a pod.
Wait.
Do you know that? You can be a
There's
fertilizer
pods.
pod that a tree comes out of it. Did you know? Is that what you're gonna say, Arnie?
Yeah, there's
No shit.
pod burials, and you could be
Yep.
the pod under the tree, and you become the tree and shit, man.
Yeah, it's called a pod burial. Exactly. I'm going to be cremated, but like put into they make a synthetic reef, and they're gonna put me. I'll be a part of a new coral reef.
Nice.
Mhm.
That's a good idea too.
Yeah, my
But
friend's dad went to space, like in a capsule. Went to space. So when they in Florida, they do it like a few times a year. When they go up, they take like for the people who do that, they take them there and release them in space. He was a scientist, so he did that. And that's when I
Wow.
started looking into different things. And I was like, really, all these different things? Like how cool? Like mausoleum is how I was gonna do. I was like, man, I can't be underground. That's weird. Can do the work. And I was like, mausoleum, that's even worse. Like I don't know. And cremation used to like literally make me physically ill.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like I don't know. It's just I'd
Yeah, I
rather
definitely
my
ain't getting
body be,
cremated. No.
my body be oozing around a little weird for me. I'm good on that.
Yeah, I don't want to be embalmed or anything. Just put me in the ground and put the tree
A
on
death
top
tree
of me.
pod thing would be great for you. That pod burial will be amazing.
Yeah, I love Earth. I love
We have that in common.
nature.
I didn't realize I didn't realize you're so much into nature like that. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, that's all I do.
That's where I feel at peace.
Me too.
So
That's why I spend so
It's-
much time.
I like the pod thing too, but it's the way you're laid in that thing. It's
You're not gonna
kind of
know,
be
bro.
all crampy and shit.
it's gonna be crampy. You gotta be. You're not even gonna be in your body anymore.
I don't know. Just
Oh, I'm gonna get claustrophobic. I'm not gonna want to be in there.
I mean,
you
I think what would be
fucking-
even worse
you
would
get a
be in
fucking
a
Charlie horse or something.
be in a freaking coffin. Like that shit scares me. Like, what if you were alive? Like reality, like that's always scared me. Like, nope, I'm good on that.
there was someone, I don't know if it was in the UK, someone passed and they was being buried. They had all their family and friends around them, and they recorded a video before they died. Them going, "Let me out! Let me out! It's dark in here!" And it's like they're all laughing. I thought that was brilliant, man.
Yeah,
I
I'd
saw
like to
that
do something
video.
like that. Yeah,
I seen that. That was cool.
yeah,
That made me laugh.
yeah, man.
That sounds like something my dad would do.
Yeah,
Like I would do.
that's cool. That's cool.
Oh shit. So anyways, anything else you guys have to say about the Royals?
Man,
also-
I really, I hope a lot of truth of it comes out. It's hard for me to talk about a lot of this stuff to like my friends and stuff. They're like, dude, what you fucking nuts,
You're
man.
nuts.
Yeah.
What the fuck you mean draconian? Like what? I hope it unfolds soon. I hope a lot of this either unfolds or some of this truth comes out. I hope the child trafficking gets stopped. I mean, it's there's so much going on that a lot of people are so blind to, and
Mhm.
you know, I just hope a lot of that shit gets done about it soon. You know, it really
Yeah.
bothers me.
Same.
Yeah, because it's terrible. The child stuff is terrible. Like if people even knew, like to be honest, I think almost everybody probably knows somebody. Depends on your female group circle for sure, but know somebody that's trafficked. I promise you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I promise you.
It seems like more people are talking about it now, and it's getting out there more. It's definitely getting out there more. It's on
I feel like
social media, Twitter. Like people are going for it.
I feel like
You
you
wanna
want
get it out there
You know who
more.
I want to get it really bad is like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton's not even Hillary Clinton.
Hillary
Hillary,
Clinton.
she's
I
dead.
know.
I want her to fucking toast, man.
Hillary's dead.
Yeah, that's not.
And the Podesta brothers or whatever.
Have you seen? John Podesta is dead.
Is he?
Yeah, he died a few years ago.
I didn't know that, man. I know his brother is a fucking pedophile too.
Yeah, that you can get into Pizzagate with that shit.
Yeah, that's a whole
That's
different
who
ballgame.
perpetrated. That's who the perpetrators were the Podesta brothers and the guy who owned the pizza shop.
It's like
Yeah, did you
go
hear
ahead.
that video in that ping pong place, or whatever? And that was him screaming at the kid.
Yeah,
That fucking made me sick.
whipping him.
Yep.
I'm your father now.
Yes. Yeah, man. You heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually I don't have it saved on this phone, but I had a video of a guy saying that he was I think he worked at the pizza shop or something, but Dylan Green, who killed himself last year, he was 11 at the time, and this guy walked into the guy who I can't remember the guy that owned the pizza shop there that's implemented, but he walked into the kitchen and saw him butt fucking Dylan Green at 11 years old.
There's a lot of that with Charlie Sheen doing that with people too. Talking about Charlie Sheen doing
Yeah,
that.
Corey Haim. That he
Yep.
molested Corey Haim on the set of Lucas.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
they did those drug and sex parties too back in New York. A lot of New York, it was like it was a pizza shop too. That's so crazy. Like and Feldman's been telling us about it, and Haim died. I think Haim might have even been murdered so that he would
Probably.
shut up, so that he didn't come out about all the fucked up shit that did to him. And he had to be on drugs. I mean, you know how much he was passed around. He was a really pretty kid. You know what I mean? He was passed around Hollywood like crazy. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
then he thought it was like
that's
normal.
so fucking sick when you think about it. It like makes my stomach so fucking sick. Like the price you pay, really and truly, for fame. Like really and truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like his fucking parents like knew even a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of these parents put you into that. When they call them like pageant moms or showgirl moms, like that's real shit. Like because the moms want it so bad because there's something they were missing so bad in their life. It's almost like a Munchausen's by proxy, right? So it's almost like that because what happens is they literally feed off of what's happening to you, and it's not even good, it's bad, it's making you sick, and they are energizing off of that. As a parent, that's how you know that parent is either controlled by something or what we call like energy vampires. Like vampires are real, they don't suck blood, they suck your fucking energy, right? So that's what that is. That's they need that. So what does a vampire need to in order to keep being a fucking vampire, a day walker, to keep complete, to be with whatever, they have to keep draining the fucking energy of other people. And the best place to drain it is a fresh battery, a kid, right? Like a kid. So you drain a fucking kid. And the way you get that energy is putting the child out there in dangerous situations. And it gives like a rush, and it gives like a fulfillment. It gives them all kinds of weird gratifications. And all you are is a fucking pawn to these parents that had you. That's real life in America. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people that especially have like fucked up fucking parents that have this media shit in their brain that this is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Especially now. Could you imagine now with like how the kids are now? I watch my nieces. I'm not even going to get into that because, family and stuff. But like, it's insane to me. Like, I don't know how they're going to function in the real world at all.
Me neither. Not without their phones.
Oh no,
for sure. Because
once again, it's the when I was in high school in the 90s, it was, oh my God, 2000, Y2K is coming. We're going to have the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast. You're going to have a number, your social security number tattooed. A lot of my friends were shitbags, not shitbags. I asked them like facetious, funny. And like I grew up a punk rocker kid. Like I was into like fucking punk rock. And that's the only thing I knew from like Europe I loved was punk rock music. So they all got barcodes with their social security number tattooed under it. And I'm like, on their neck. I'm like, I get the barcode. That's so cute. But like, do you really need to put your number on that? Because like, I don't know, you walk around, somebody see that, it's screenshotting. Back then, to me in my brain, like that's scary. So yeah. I even told my exes who wear like their tags around their neck in this culture today, I'm like, you're crazy. That's got all your information, first, middle, last, your religion, your date of birth, your ethnicity. It's got all that, and your social security number and your dog tags. He's been walking around like, oh, I'm in the military. I'm so fun with my dog tags. I'm like, I just got your social security number, dumbass. You in Florida doing that too? Big boy city girls all down here. I'm in Miami. Like, stop. Stupid men are done with that shit. Like, people don't think about it. It's our culture.
That's true.
Oh,
That's true. There's something I was gonna say and I forget it.
But that's the cell phone. Sorry.
But it's okay. It's okay.
The cell phone's being the mark of the beast, basically.
Well,
Yeah.
we're working our way to end up with a social credit score for sure. They're already implementing it or trying to implement it in Israel or China.
Really?
what's that?
I think it's China. The social credit score.
Have you ever seen?
I think they've got it, haven't they,
Mir-
China?
What's that, Kev?
So basically, if you so like how we're talking right now, we're talking shit about the government, or we talk shit about Dylan Mulvaney or somebody who's trans or something like that, which I'm just gonna say this now. I don't have a problem with trans. I have a problem with you trying to transition a child. But so like you talk shit or you say something that the popular opinion goes against the popular opinion, your social credit score goes down. So you try to go to the store, you try to buy something, they're like, oh no, you said some shit about trans people, you can't, you're not allowed to buy this today.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
And you know what? They predicted this though on Black Mirror. There's an episode of Black Mirror that's like
Yep.
that. Like literally how you present yourself to people. Like if you're in a shit mood, you'll see like there's a bar. It was a bar or numbers. I think it's numbers that go up, a score that goes up. So if you go in and you're nice and you're bubbly, your score goes up. Everyone likes you. If you tip more, your score goes up. But if you're having a shit day and you just don't feel it, your score goes down. Or if it's like, hey, we're going to go to dinner tonight. Do you want to go? And you're like, I'm really not feeling. You see the score going down, and the girl does, and then it'll be like, oh no, I'm good. And you see the score go back up. Like what people think about you if you don't blend in, your
Yep.
score gets lower, and then you can't get an apartment, you can't get a car, you can't do anything.
What?
Yeah.
Scary,
Yeah.
man.
See,
Scary.
my whole thing is, look, everybody, we all experience life in a different way. We all have different perspectives, and we all have different opinions. We're not all going to have the same opinion on anything because we experience life different from other people. It's just like, I'll say it for the sake of saying it. Like, you're not gonna convince a racist person to not be racist.
No.
You just accept it. Like, there's gonna be racist people no matter what. Just don't. Why are we working so hard to fuck with people who happen to be, which, obviously I don't agree with it. I'm not of that opinion. I don't consider myself of being racist, and I don't consider myself as really hating anybody unless you're fucking with children, really. But we all experience life. We all grow up completely different. And to say that our moral compass and our opinions should be exactly the same is bonkers to me. It's the most bizarre thing, and it's being perpetrated really hard right now to accept certain things as a certain thing, like the two gender thing. Like, you have to accept that there's more than two, and if you don't, then you're transphobic or whatever. And I'm like, well, I believe that there's two genders, but I'm not afraid of trans. So like the phobic thing is kind of weird. But I get it that they use that to say that they're trying to tell you that you hate them. I don't hate them. I think the they them thing is stupid too. And I don't hate anybody that uses it. If you want to use it, fucking use it. And I'm not gonna hate you, and I'm not gonna put you down for any of your shit. I'm not gonna put you down for your race. I'm not gonna treat you differently because of the color of your skin. We all bleed red. We all have the same organs in the same fucking places. Unless we are born in
Royals.
in a traumatic way, because some people have different issues. But we are all human beings. We're spirits experiencing ourselves as human beings for a short period of time. And the best thing that we can do is to be as communicative and accepting and loving of one another and one another's backgrounds, but doesn't mean that everybody is going to be.
Right. How do you feel about them putting Satanism into their elementary school now? You see that going on right
can I
now?
talk on it? This is something actually I'm really passionate about. Can I talk about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Second. So years ago in Delray Beach, so in Delray Beach at Christmas every year, they have a big tree in the middle, but then they have different religions around it because in South Florida we are very melting and like a melted pot, whatever.
Yep.
So we have a lot of different, a lot of different religions down here. So all the different religions were out there, and then you have the Satanists want to have their spot out there. And of course, there was a whole thing about how they can't because it's not proper or whatever. But in reality, if you're going to tell them no, you got to tell everybody else no, because
Right.
it's still considered an organized religion as any other religion. And if you do educate yourself on any religion before judging or whatever, especially in that case, right? Because like, how are you going to be Christian and say that the Jewish religion can be beside you, but not the Satanist? The Satanist isn't out there like sacrificing anything in front of you. They are spreading their message, right? And their message is hedonism. That's what their message actually is. It's not what people think it is. I'm not. It's not that I know, but I've educated myself on it. And it's like, because when that was going on, because of course the uproar, everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So I feel like if you're going to teach religion in school, you have to teach all religions, and that is a religion.
Right.
Okay, Cal.
I get it.
It's no different than Christianity.
but that-
Christianity, you're teaching you're teaching I don't think it should be in school either, separation of
I don't
church.
right. I don't think they should be really teaching any kind of religion in school, but
I agree
if
with
you decide to if you're a child and you decide to talk about it, you should also be allowed to,
I agree with that.
no matter what religion you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wrote the word Jesus on a paper in 4th grade and I got in trouble for it.
No, you did
Really?
not.
Yeah.
See, now I grew up, we had prayer every morning. We literally had prayer every morning. Like literally on the loudspeaker, it would be like, okay, it is now time for the pledge, and it started out morning prayer, and then about like 5th or grade 6, it started into a moment of silence. But we had to do that. Like we did that every day. So for me, I mean, up until even there was prayer graduation, high school graduation.
Uh-huh.
So that's bizarre to me that you couldn't write that on a paper. That's bizarre to me.
Yeah. I found when they did this, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't get detention or anything like that. I got spoken to about how we are not to write this kind of stuff on anything in the class or whatever. And I'm just like, well, how come we say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning, but I can't? And we
And
say
the word God is in the Pledge of Allegiance.
exactly, and I can't talk about God's son on a piece of paper.
That's wild to me. That I'm telling you, I am like dumbfounded. Like,
Yeah.
our culture really, because you're like about 15 years. So our cultures really went. That's crazy to me. Wow.
Yeah. Do you think it comes down to the teacher, like the teachers? That teacher obviously had a problem with it. Do you think it's the whole system?
I think it's a lot of them, and I think public schools are allowing teachers a little bit more say in how they teach, more than they should. You know what I mean? Like, and it goes back to the trans or the LGBTQ people. You know what I mean? It's when people send their children to school, they're expected to learn how to write, how to read, how to do math, how to and learn about American history, because we're in America, or if you're in UK history, the basics, science, all this
Yeah.
stuff. And then you have this teacher who's telling you that at 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, telling you that there's fucking 20 genders or whatever, and that does
crazy.
something wrong. And then there's teachers out there that have a problem with there's a lot of teachers out there that have a problem with Florida because
I
of
hate
this,
Florida.
because of the laws that they're putting, which I agree with a lot of the stuff that they're doing. Like, and they're not allowed to, so they have, so if a child comes in and starts saying that they're a different gender or they want to go by a different name, that they're supposed to let the parents in on it. And a lot of teachers have an issue with that. If there's something going on with my child in school and you're not fucking telling me about it, there's a fucking problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, yeah,
Like
100%.
if my kid is in, who you don't even know if my kid hasn't said this to me. You know what I mean? So why would you keep it from me to begin with?
Yeah.
Because they think there's a confidentiality with kids, especially high school kids. So I know, like, we'll just use Tennessee for example, because my sister works for the state and with child, in child stuff. And she was telling me just last week that she's like, oh, I don't even know this and that about one of her kids. And she was like, because when she goes to that doctor, like when it comes to mental health at 16, the parents aren't even allowed to be involved. I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, I've never even met her therapist. She goes in and does whatever. She could tell her whatever she wants to tell her. I don't know. I'm not allowed to ask about it. I'm not allowed to see it. I'm not allowed to do anything. She said she manages her own medication at 16 years old, mental health medication. Get the fuck out of here. You're letting these kids manage their own Adderall, their own whatever. And it's mostly Adderall. What? I couldn't believe that. I was like,
That's wild.
Yeah, Ritalin.
Yeah.
mental health medicine. So at 16 years old, kids going to like therapists and stuff, they dictate what they're going to take, not their parents. You don't talk over the parents. The kids decide. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
I did a lot of therapy growing up, but my parents were always, well, my mom was always involved. And the funny thing though is that my mother was the perpetrator of a lot of my issues why I was in therapy to begin with. But but yeah, no, your parent, you're the guardian until you're 18.
It's crazy.
Dude,
Yeah.
the school I went to, I was adopted, man, and I went to a Christian school when I was younger, and they used to beat the shit out of me. If I did something bad, I had to go to the principal's office and take 3 licks, man. And,
I used to get paddled too. I got paddled by the principal once. I got paddled by my 3rd grade teacher. Like
one time,
2nd, 3rd, and 5th grade teacher.
Wow.
they used to call
It's
the people and raise me.
crazy.
I
That
gotta
is
get spanking.
crazy.
Right, go ahead. I'm like, man, you fucking touch my kid, man. I'm gonna come down there with a bazooka.
True.
They beat you with a
Same.
wooden paddle, like a long
Yeah,
wooden
man.
paddle that had a
Yeah,
handle
and they
on
put
it.
holes in the motherfucker so it goes quicker.
Wow.
One
That's
time
fucked.
I wore like 8 pair of underwear because I knew I was getting paddled. And the dude found out because he hit me a couple times, and I took him, and he fucking called the gym teacher down and made me go into the bathroom, take it off.
Could
I
you
went there.
imagine someone doing that to
Oh,
your
And
kid?
that dude, he
Oh
was like,
my god,
happy
I
to
would
do it.
murder somebody.
Yeah,
I would
I'd be-
murder
yeah.
that person.
That's fucked up.
I'll be-
Holy
oh,
fuck.
man.
It's just like the during the pandemic or when schools were just starting to come back, but all the kids had to wear fucking masks. And I saw on the news that this fucking bus driver slapped this little girl across the fucking face for not wearing her mask. I'm like,
Jeez.
you're
I
so
would kill
worried about this fucking COVID virus, but you're gonna put hands on somebody.
I would kill you.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
kill
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I would go to jail.
100%.
I put that
Yeah.
I put that video on Facebook, and I was like, if this was my child, I would murder this person. And then Facebook
did.
Facebook fucking banned me.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's ridiculous.
But to talk about schools, I didn't know what my teachers were into. I didn't know it. The only telling thing about if they're married was if they had a missus. and I didn't know who
Yeah.
they were married to. I didn't know their names. I didn't know if it was a man or a woman
Yep.
growing up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't either.
So like,
Because we shouldn't know stuff like that when we
Right,
don't
we
need
don't-
to know
Wait,
that.
they do now though?
yes, when the Don't Say Gay bill, that supposedly it's not called the Don't Say Gay bill, and it has nothing
Right.
about not saying gay in school to begin with, and it's a 7 fucking page bill, and it's really simple and easy to read. I've read it several times. I've posted it on Facebook and
There's
shit,
signs
too.
around the county about it.
But yeah. So when that bill was first presented, there was videos of teachers being like, I have to avoid my wife's existence. Like I can't talk about why do you need affirmation from a child about
Nah,
your
man.
fucking wife,
Yeah.
about your sexuality? Why do
That's
do
fucking
children need to
weird.
know who the
Yes.
fuck you're married to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we was at school, we didn't have to. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't see my teachers as people. They were just teachers.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
would see them out of school and I'd be shocked. I'd be like, "Oh my god, they're actually a person." Like, it's
Yeah.
not. They don't. You didn't see them as people.
They were like an avatar in the front of the class.
Exactly.
You
Don't
didn't
need
eat
to know.
lunch. They walked around at lunch and
Yeah.
told you what to do, was making sure you weren't making out or making sure you weren't
Exactly.
fucking off.
You don't need to know what they're doing on the weekend.
Oh.
You know what I
But
mean?
listen, I do see that. Like the other day, I did see a friend of mine that's like her kids there, and they're surprising the teacher somewhere, like with dinner and happy birthday, and like they personally know them and hang out with them, like, and got the class together to go do this. And I'm just like, and the
That's
teachers are filming the TikToks for kids now too. It's like,
my
oh,
goodness.
produced by this teacher. I'm like, you are an old man with a bunch of 12-year-old I know what I thought immediately. Hate being a clairvoyant because I know what I thought. You know what I mean?
I think the same thing when you say that.
Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I never even looked to see if they had wedding bands on. Like I might have seen a real blingy ring. You know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, bro, but like that would have been it.
Yeah. That's
Crazy. I
fucking,
didn't think about that now.
that
That's
is
really
wild.
crazy.
The world has gone crazy, but we are approaching 2 hours now, lady and
Okay.
gentlemen. So we're gonna cut this, and then we'll do the intro right after. But since this is the end, and they're gonna get to know you guys in the beginning and the intro, why don't you each take a turn and just remind them who you are, and where they can find you. And we'll start with Arnie.
Well, yeah, my name's Arnie, and I am an investigator for Hornet, South Florida. And I do have an Instagram. It's a name I wish I changed in the beginning.
You can change it, by the way. You can change it, by the way.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can.
what? Yeah, you gotta teach me that because
Got you.
Shartino, Shartles. So it's El Shartino 75. Look, it was my gamer time. I play games, and I set it up for my son.
That's funny.
My sons gave it to me, and I just stuck with it. So,
Well,
yeah. So we'll figure that out. But yeah, or you can go on Hornet SouthFlorida.com and or .org or Cal. You know it is.
You
You
got it.
can find me on the
It's
Hornet South Florida
.org.
page too.
It's .org.
Yeah.
nice.
We're an organization.
All right, Callie, plug your shit.
Man, so I'm Callie. I do a lot of stuff, a lot of shit.
Yeah, she does.
I don't know which you want to follow because it depends on what your vibe is, but I have several Instagram accounts, and on Snapchat, I show the world the beach every day. I also am a paranormal investigator, and I dabble in conspiracy and witchy shit and failed dating life. No, JK. So yeah, you can follow me at, I guess, same like with Arnie. Haunted South Florida is our team. Personally, I'm Ghost Hunter Barbie or Callie Explores on Instagram, or my name is Callie Viata. You can look that up too if you like. And HauntedSouthFlorida.org, CallieViata.com. think that's it. That's all.
All right. And Tommy.
I'm Tommy Cullum. I've got a podcast called Let's Get Freaky. It's a paranormal podcast. We talk all things paranormal, ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, conspiracies, everything strange. I have guests on that have had experiences or work in the paranormal. And yeah, come
Yeah,
say
check it
hi
out.
at
I'm
TC
totally-
Let's Get Freaky podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. We're on all of them.
Nice.
I send you some stuff too, Tom. Do you?
You
get-
do?
get
Yeah, I
some of
get
my-
it, man. Awesome stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome stuff, man. Keep it
I'll have to
coming.
follow you. I'll have to get your Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Awesome.
He's been getting some pretty interesting people on his podcast. So
Nice.
but anyways,
Cheers,
that's
man.
the show. If you guys want to participate in the next Conspiracy Tuesday, you know where to find me, where_the weird ones are on Instagram, or you can shoot me an email at wheretheweirdonesare@gmail.com. If you do decide to get on the Instagram, you can find all three of these lovely people on there because I follow them and they follow me. And yeah, so with that being said, you are enough. You're meant to be here. We're all living this human experience. So let's try and enjoy it together. And with that, stay weird.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, what'll I make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide, how to lie. Me, I don't have that problem. Me, I always tell the truth, even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you. Come on. Make way for the bad guy. There's a bad